Well, welcome to SLC Aquatics with the hashtag FishMom. Susan for SLC Aquatics. I hope everyone is having a great Tuesday evening. And I hated to leave Corey and Joel and Jimmy over at the Real Fish Talk, but I wanted to go ahead and get my stream going so that we can get on subject. I see that a lot of you beautiful people have already joined in the chat, and I thank you for that. Let's see who was first in the chat. We have DH Aquatics, Sherry Sweeney, we have Down the Wormhole, we have Susan. Who else has come in? Heather has come in, Madfish Diva, Mario Alves, and I just want to welcome everyone to the stream tonight. We're having quite a busy day here weather-wise. Right now the sky is very, very dark. Our threats are supposed to be over by 10 p.m. tonight, unless that changes. But in my area, thank God we were safe, and we just had some rain, but a few miles above me is where the baseball size hail came down, destroyed car lots, and JSU, Jackson State University, was pretty much destroyed by an F3 tornado. The dorms were tore up. Some building structures were totaled. Thank you, Madfish Diva. Hi, Dee. Hi, Dusty. Mario. I know Mario's listening. But tonight's subject is going to be on the goldfish pond or goldfish tubs or goldfish containers that you want to DIY or put together from, like my tubs are put together from preforms, and some people dig and put in-ground fish ponds and such, and some don't have the yard or the room to actually dig a pond in the yard. So a few of us have done DIY preform tubs, or even DIY home hand constructed our own ponds. So I want to let everyone know that my special guest next Tuesday night will be Mario Alves Jr., who's in the chat, and he's working on a project now, and it's not his original idea, but he can explain all of that next week. And next week will be part 2 of the goldfish ponds and tubs and containers. I guess we might as well just say goldfish. And you know, this is the time of the year where you don't necessarily have to put goldfish out there. If you want to put live bearers out there, if you want to put guppies, a friend of mine who has I've been following his channel for a while, and I can't say his name because I can't pronounce his name. It's Asian and I just don't want to mess it up. But at the when this video posts, I'll go ahead and put his channel link in the subscription. Sherry Sweeney says, hey, good, I wanted to talk about outdoor tubs. All right. Dusty said, I saw goldfish and I got real excited. It's finally a topic that I can relate to. Well, you could relate with the guppies too, Dusty, so you're still in the boat. And but anyway, you know, we're still having some crazy weather, even though today was the first day of spring, or actually tomorrow morning is the first actually official day of spring. I don't know when that time actually clicks in, but we went from 80-degree temps down to I think 27 and 30 degrees with the high of 50s, 55. So my goldfish on the front porch are kind of like, what is going on? Because they had started eating a little bit, and then when I got the package from Gina in, I added some duckweed to the tank because my water plants had died from the late frost that we had. And they may come back, so I'm going to watch them. Just have to keep up my, my filtration. Whew. Excuse me. Had a little acid reflux there. Heather says, I live in Nebraska and the weather is so crazy here, I'm scared to do an outdoor tub. The only thing that I can suggest for you is to wait later in April or even the 1st of May before you do your outside pond. You watch your local weather. That's the most important thing, is to watch your local weather. And because it does fluctuate so much, you want to have a backup heater and a backup cover for your tubs. I know Corey sets up those large, I don't know how many gallons. I forget how many gallon tubs he's got. He might have up to 2,000, but I'm not sure. I can't remember. Anybody remember how large Corey's outside tubs are? But anyway, he has covers over them, and of course he uses big old canister filters and things like that. I don't do the professional level to that point. I don't have the funds to do that, so I want to stay small. I do my own DIY filters. I do have, as you see in the picture, some hang on the back filters. One is only for 5 or 10 gallon, but it keeps some filtration and water flow going to keep the mosquitoes from laying their eggs. And if they do lay their eggs in an outside tub, the fish will enjoy the larvae. So Mr. B's Fish and Things is in the house. 1st of May would be too early here. Okay. You're in Canada, Mr. B? Or you're up in the Northeast? I forget. I'm sorry. I have a very small mind. I'm almost like, what is the creature? The prehistoric Brontosaurus. Huge body and a little bitty brain. Anywho. Oh. I think he has like 5 300-gallon BC totes. He keeps koi in them. Okay. I know he's got some of those IBC totes and a couple black preformed totes outside as well. Direct light is important to avoid. Direct light, and don't put them under a tree. Why? Well, if you have a tree that sheds its leaves once or twice a year, your pond's going to fill up with those leaves. It's going to cause leaf litter. It's going to clog up your filtration, and it's going to cause a big mess in your pond. Even though out in the open, when the wind blows the leaves, the fish love the leaf litter, so there's controversy there. And also, birds sit in trees, right? And what do birds do? They poop. So that poop may cause an ammonia spike in your tub or in your pond. So I'm not sure. I don't know the exact compass point to put your pond at, because mine are on a covered porch. The wind and leaves do blow in onto the porch. It's not a closed-in porch. And so from time to time, I do go in and hand, scoop out with a net excess leaves, especially when I'm doing my water changes. And lately, I haven't been doing water changes. I've just been doing top-offs, 5 gallons here, 5 gallons there from evaporation. And I did once over the winter months take the filter media out of my filter in a water change. I did a small water change, just enough to clean the filter media out and put it back into the filter, because you can tell when your filter flow starts slowing down, it's getting bogged down. And with goldfish, they're very very dirty fish. So it doesn't happen much during hibernation because they're not eating. So mine went about 2.5 months not eating at all. And during some of the coldest weather, when it got down into the teens, I did cover my ponds with a blue plastic tarp, and the wind blew it off on one side and the frost got to my lily. Otherwise, everything was doing fine until then. So what about sap? Yeah, I bet sap could cause a problem, definitely. Especially, yeah. But you know, in my creek, there are trees overhanging the creek. But remember, the water flow volume on the creek, you know, when it's not low, it flows pretty good. So, I don't know. What do you think? Heather says, nah, the birds aim for my car and they won't mess with the tub. I had, what was it? I had wasps coming to my ponds and like sitting on a leaf and lapping water out of the pond and then flying away. It was so cool. Triple 10 Tanks, hi, welcome, welcome, welcome. I just want to take a few minutes with my mods to just have a little discussion. Most of my mods know my moral and ethical standard as a church member and as a minister. So I would like you all to keep a watch on language and abusive behavior. You have full liberty to, I don't know what the options are anymore. I'd have to, okay, it says report, remove, put user on timeout, hide user on this channel, and I just want everyone to know that you have full permission to discipline. And if there's a question, I'll question it and apologize to the individual myself. I do want my mods to gather the information in the description on all of my links to where I can be found. And I do want my how to support me to be shared in the chat boxes while we're active, because sometimes I'm going to get busy talking. I'm not watching the chat. I need you guys to watch the chat. And if anyone else would like to be a mod that is a regular, that has the same standards that I have, I would appreciate you, you know, letting me know in the chat that you would love to be a mod to help me out, help me monitor my channel when I'm live. And I am looking for a manager of my channel that would help me watch comments and things on all of my videos, help me share my videos. Cecilia Hobbies in the house. What did I miss? Okay, Dusty said, I'm really excited for this stream. I just bought a 150-gallon stock tank to start breeding my goldfish. Cool beans. I guess I went back too far. Brontosaurus down, D said. Dusty at DH Aquatics says, my goldfish dealer keeps guppies or other small live bearers with her goldfish outside to help take care of the bugs. Usually is a big no-to-mix species, but she swears by it, LOL. I've raised my goldfish with guppies, so they don't eat the adult guppies, but and they really didn't eat the fry. They really didn't. Mario says, mine is going to be slightly under a cherry tree. I'm not too concerned. I'm a big fan of tannins. Right. You know, leaf matter, you know, that's why I was saying, Mario, there's a pro and a con to leaves. But for those who have large ponds that have, you know, you gotta, it'll cause more maintenance on your filtration in the long run, trying to get the leaf matter out of your filter. And the filter I have on my, or the pump that I have on my DIY filter is internal right now. So a lot of times leaf matter will get up into that and clog it up. It'll start clicking, or the water, you won't see the water moving, so you know that the pump stopped up. And it can burn the motor up on your pump if it's not encased. And believe me, I thought about all kinds of things. I couldn't get the right content information, so I didn't try doing an encased water pump. Thank you very much, Heather, for sharing, and Angelo for sharing my information. Welcome, Angelo. You snuck in on me. Mr. B, I forgot where you're located at. You said May might be too early to put your ponds out. Yes, Dusty, we're very happy for you and excited for you, because you're really getting into your goldfish. And you'll have to ask Sheila at Life with Pets and other people who have bred goldfish, because I've not bred goldfish, but they have. Angelo says, get your very own apron. Thank you very much. That's cute. Madfish Diva says, got my apron. Almost too pretty to wear, and I love it. I know this white one right here, it's probably got a few stains on it, but you'd be surprised at the however the material that it's made out of. And I don't know if they put any kind of Scotch Guarding on it or anything, but I don't know. I need to read the label. DH says, thanks at Madfish Diva. Have you checked out that book yet? It is kind of old, but I have like 5 copies that I'm giving away with merch. Madfish Diva, I'm going to take it with me on my flight soon, Dusty. That's great. DH says, that's great. It is a useful book for illnesses, but most of the stocking requirements are off. Haha. So, as we get into the subject of goldfish ponds, and there is also different data on how many fish per gallon. So, I have Comet goldfish that I bought. Actually, I didn't buy them. They were store credit fish that I got free, and they were in the feeder tank, and they were about 1 inch long, and they needed some quarantine meds, because you could tell they weren't doing too good. Matter of fact, I had to euthanize one of them when I got home. It just wasn't doing well at all. It was swimming sporadically, gasping for air. It looked like its skin was molting. It just was in bad shape. So she didn't make it, or he didn't make it. With fancy goldfish, I had 2 fancy goldfish that I rescued from a banquet, because they used them on these tables for decoration, and most of them died because they didn't dechlorinate the water. And they had them by little tea lights, that were heating up the glass constantly, and everybody knows the hotter the water, the less oxygen there is. And anyway, it was a sad situation, but I brought home 3 goldfish, and 2 of the fancy goldfish lived, and I took them to my my pastor. She has an outside preformed pond, and she keeps koi and goldfish, so my 2 fancy goldfish were living with her what is it, shabumpkin, and just I guess a couple comets. They doing really well. But they say 20 gallons per goldfish for the first goldfish, and then another 10 gallons for 2. And I don't know if that continues, like another 10 gallons for 3, so that would be 40 gallons. So in this 40-gallon tub right here, anyway, let me put my mouse on it. This, I wish I could draw on this one. I can't draw with this one. This 40-gallon tub, I could probably put 3 of my comet goldfish in there. And then this is a 20-gallon, and I have 2 up there. So I put 2 up there in the 20-gallon, mainly just to keep each other company. And because all 4 in this tank was a little overcrowded, and I do believe I have 3 males and 1 female, and they were driving the female crazy. Hello, 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 Angelo. Okay, back to the chat. That is why I always said that goldfish are the most abused animal in the pet industry. Yes, that and feeder guppies. And then the larger fish too, Dusty, like the Oscars and the sharks, you know, the large red-tailed catfish and stuff. And Angelo says he's good, Diva. Tired after a long day at work, but good. Thanks for asking. Nice piece, Lily. Thank you, Madfish Diva. Well, it did look pretty. It doesn't look pretty anymore. Matter of fact, I'm going to get some of my pictures off of my I'm going to just share it with you, okay? Here it is. This is the now. It doesn't look pretty anymore, does it? That's duckweed. That's a couple pieces of water lettuce. There's my DIY pump filter. And that's my wave maker pump right there with a hose and a valve for cutting it on and off. This coffee can right here is just mainly for shelter. This is shadows. I don't know what this is. But I've got brick, clay pot, and that was my lily. There's my little hang on the back filter. So I have that filter and this homemade filter. These are rocks for them to hide in. And this is my 20. And look at my poor pothos or ivy. It died from the frost. See? I got to replant it. I got to put more soil in it and start over. There's my 2 common goldfish. That's also a shelter. It's a plastic, can I say it? Folger coffee can. And that's the other view of the 40-gallon. which is really my favorite. And then along the side of the pond I have what are those plants that don't really need a whole lot of water? Succulents. So that's what's going on there with my ponds. Yes, that's the lily I was talking about, and I couldn't remember the name of it. It's like a peace lily. Jesse, HC Aqua's in the house. Good to have you, HC. Stocking guidelines for goldfish are all just opinion based. Some think that the current guidelines are too little, some think that the new guidelines are too much. It is a huge controversy. Yeah, Dusty, that's why I say the more the merrier. You have good filtration. Keep the water levels, topped off. Keep them fed but not overfed. Give them hiding places and lots of floating plants. They love duckweed as a great food source. It looks so nice in the summer. Can't wait. Yeah, I'm gonna order some plants from Willow's Reef and also from Green Oasis Farms, because they both have some beautiful water lilies, and I'm gonna learn how to plant that water lily. And I'm debating on, do I want to leave my ponds on the porch, or do I want to put them on the side of the house that gets partial sun in the morning and then no sun in the evening. Anybody know what the suggestions are for how much sunlight should be on? The more sunlight, the more algae problem you have, right? But it also can, without some kind of partial shade or protection, the water can heat up too much and kill your fish. Madfish Diva agrees with me. I think heavy filtration is also a key for goldfish. HC Aqua says, I almost bought another 70-gallon tub today for $50, but I passed it. Oh, how could you do that, Jessie? Oh my goodness. Don't forget to hit the like button and show support. Thank you so much. I'm going to go up here and go to my watch page. And I've got to remember to come back from my watch page, because right now I've got 10 watching. Wow, just 10 people want to hear about goldfish tonight? Anyway, I'm just teasing. As much as we have shown, support for one another, I open up the chat and ask you guys to give us your input into when to set. I've heard the best time to set your ponds up outside is after the last frost. Well, as crazy as the weather is, it might be 3 weeks of 80-degree weather, and then all of a sudden we're going back into the 30s and 40s. So I just say have a heater on hand that will be like an inline heater that will be able to be plugged into your filtration so that it will, circulate the water. Well, thank you, Dusty, for sharing it on Goldfish Keeper's Facebook page just now. It doesn't matter when. Fancy Tail Aquatics. Hey, Fancy Tail Aquatics. Sorry late for the game. Was watching Corey's love feed. Yep, I understand. I watched his first hour, and then I had to get ready for this show, so I had to leave them. But he had some good information on cloudy water. And the tank behind me right here, it's got the, I guess it's called the diatom green algae, because it's now been set up 3 or 4 weeks, and I don't leave the light on as long as I used to. Plus, when I added the angelfish fry, I put some of their green water, algae water, over into the tank to help with beneficial bacteria and give them something to num on while they were going from a transition of a tub to a tank. So anyway, sometimes I think we try to over help them, but I haven't lost any of my baby angelfish that are in there, the 5. I've lost a mystery snail. So strange, just strange. Lost one of my bettas over in the other tank. Oh, let's see. 10 beautiful people. That's right, Angelo. New sub here, Fancy Tail. That's right. Show the fish fam love. Sherry says, I have a smaller tub in the house on the floor, waiting to go outside with guppies, fry, hornswort, duckweed, and waiting on the weather. Sherry, that's an excellent idea. And at first I set my goldfish up, last year for the first time. And I was so nervous about leaving them outside during the winter. I didn't have the 40 gallon at that time. I just had the 20. And I almost asked my husband to help me bring it in the house because I was so afraid that those goldfish were just going to die, But after going through the winter, giving them plenty of shelter, and at the most extreme weather, I was able to I think it was about 3 weeks that I just covered their tubs with a blue tarp that my husband uses for covering furniture and stuff that he transports on his truck sometimes. So it, to me it helped, and I didn't use any heater. And for it to get down into the teens, that water had to be pretty cold. I think I checked the thermometer one time when it was like 50 degrees. The water was 50 degrees. Fancy Tales Aquatics is in Louisville, Kentucky. Right? Thank you. We'll return the same. Talking crazy weather. 60 yesterday. 4 to 6 inches of snow. My goodness. You're not too far from me. The misting and the drizzle that went on here today, it dropped from, it was like 62 degrees when we woke up this morning, and by 12 o'clock it was 57 degrees. The temperatures have been dropping, and right now outside it is 50 degrees, going down to 37 tonight. So it's kind of weird. DH says, people always say how fast duckweed spreads, and I have never had luck with it. I am going to try again with my pond. Dusty, the key with duckweed and any floating plants at the top surface, and floating plants that are floating in your aquarium, to nourishing them is high nitrates, and I believe there's other minerals that they need, but mostly high nitrates. They absorb the nitrates and use that as nourishment. So if you're having problems growing duckweed, you're probably your water is probably too clean. Does that make sense? It's probably too clean. Oh yeah, the weather is crazy, Fancy Tail Aquatics. Sashin Mahendrakar. Sashin Mahendrakar. Am I saying your name or close? Hey, I guess I'm too late. It's early morning here in India, and good morning. Good morning to you, Sachin. I hope I'm saying it right. Sachin Mahendrakar, something like that. Michael, Freshwater Fish Freaks. Hola, Susan. Olaf. Miguel. Yes, good morning session. Thank you for dropping in. And no, it's not late. We've really just gone halfway through the stream because I got started right at 6 o'clock tonight. But welcome. Heather says, I have to go. Was a fun stream. Thank you. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you, Heather, and thank you for all of your work as a mod, and I love you and I appreciate you. And everyone, check out Heather at Verona Aquatics channel and also on Facebook. DH says, oh boy, I should stop doing a lot of water changes then. Yes. Let me look it up, okay? All right, growing duckweed. Y'all ready for this? I didn't know it was also known as water lens and bayroot. It can be found in every type of aquatic environment, but only true environments that have little in the way of current. Okay, current also, Dusty. Too much current can knock up duckweed. Alright, it will thrive in nearly any aquarium and will experience explosive growth thanks to the fertile environment that aquariums offer. Because of their impressive growth rate, they act as one of the best water purifiers that you can find for a fish tank and can be invaluable to newly established aquariums that are having water quality problems. Okay, Dusty, so it's probably water current, not necessarily nitrates. And if cleaning and purifying your aquarium's water isn't enough, they also have a well-deserved reputation for reducing algae growth. Between the reduced light reaching the aquarium water, the quick uptake of nutrients, any tank containing duckweed in anything approaching significant numbers will experience greatly reduced algae growth. Okay, I need to put some duckweed in that tank behind me. Oh, get some dirty water. Is that Buford again, Michael? You got it. Thanks, Sachin Mahindrakar. Nice. I was in Bangalore a few years ago. Loved the visit. Beautiful. Michael Aquarium from England is in the house. Hello there, Michael. But anyway, setting up your tanks. I use the same dechlorinator as I do in my aquariums, even though it does take more with more water volume. And they do make pond products that are supposed to be more concentrated and cost effective, but I just use my regular aquarium dechlorinator. When I started it up, as you see in the back, the hang on the back filter that's in the 20 gallon, I just took that. I had two of them on one of my 20 gallons, and they were equivalent for 20 gallons each, but I needed more water filtration for my guppies because my guppies had overpopulated, therefore they needed more filtration. So what I did was take that filter out, put it in this tub for the goldfish, and then I added a sponge filter to my 20-gallon tank to help with filtration. Then the 40-gallon, when I set it up, I can't remember, I don't think I seeded that tub. I may have seeded it with a sponge filter for a little while, but I can't remember. Michael at Freshwater Fish Freak says my saltwater tank is almost ready for reveal. Awesome. What else? Do y'all have any questions about setting up a goldfish pond? Like Sherry, she even started it in her house. And when the weather becomes more stable, you know, within 10 and 15 degree, because goldfish, once you get them acclimated outside, believe me, they'll get used to the temperatures getting cooler at night and then warming up in the middle of the day. So for some reason, goldfish and koi and all of them, cold water fish, can really take the temperature fluctuations. DH says, Freshwater Fish Freak, I'm working on a saltwater tank too. How does that work out with your channel name? LOL. Yeah, Michael said he was going to have to change his channel name, but he doesn't know what to change it to yet. I'd say Freshwater Saltwater Fish Freak. Or how about Fresh Saltwater Fish Freak? Because you are kind of fresh. I'm not funny. I'm just tired. So, setting up your ponds. You don't need, I didn't put any substrate in. Some people do put substrate in their ponds. I didn't put any substrates except, you know, layering. I had built a bridge out of those rocks, but I didn't glue them together. And when the goldfish get to chasing each other pretty fast, they'll run into stuff and knock stuff over. So I'm just glad they didn't get nicked too bad, and none of them got caught under the rocks that fell. Oh, Sherry says I have the pond running outside with a hang on the back. Okay, Sherry, I misunderstood you. I'm sorry. I'm glad you did get it out. And yeah, the hang on the back filter works fine. As you see, I had to notch out the rim a little bit for the intake to rest and not cause an issue with the leaning of the filter. If you can keep the filter level. Oh, Michael says hi, Susan, so that means Buford's in the house. DH said to Sherry, have you ever seen Corey's DIY pond bucket filters? I don't think I have. Because, you know, Rick, Mr. Science Geek, he put all of those 5-gallon buckets outside and put those guppies in there, and they bred like crazy. Sherry says, I had some faded blue from a tank I bought. The bigger one is running outside, and little one is running inside. Oh, okay. I got you. And do you have the guppies in them? Or are you going to wait on putting fish in them? I forgot. I run my mouth too much. But at first when I set up my ponds last year, I didn't have any plants in it. And then fish keepers, you know, part of the fish fam community suggested put some plants in it. And I forgot about putting the ivy in it and the lily. And when I got it, the roots washed off from the potting soil, and I did plant the lily down in gravel. And I think I put larger gravel at the bottom and then the pebble gravel. And anyway, from it being in the pond itself, you know, the nitrates and the fish poo and everything got into it and nourished it really, really well. Michael Aquarium says, I watch a YouTube channel, Paul Cafaro video was called my new 160-gallon fish tank. It's an awesome tank. Okay, I'll check it out later, sweetheart. Sherry says the fish are inside. That sounds like a good video to look up, DH. Yeah, it does. And as you see, my succulents all around the pond, because the humidity from evaporation, plus in our environment here in the South Alabama area, you know, we have humid springs and summers anyway, falls and winter. We have humid air. So anyway, the succulents grow really well. I haven't thought about putting any floating in the pond. I don't think they live, because too much water kills them. They get mushy. But I do have a video on my channel on the DIY filter that I made. I do eventually want to take the hang on the back filters off, and I want to somehow combine the two together and make the 20-gallon part of a waterfall system into the 40, and then I want to pump internally in the 40 to pump the water back up into the 20, and I want them to work together. And what is it called, a hydroponic or an aquaponic type situation. So Mario Alves drew my attention to Tawanza's Aquatics. Am I saying it right? Tawanza Aquatics. Can't think of his real name. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He was on the Real Fish Talk show. He made a pond on his patio out of 2x4s, and Mario has done the same thing. And Mario will be with us next week explaining what he did. I don't want him to give everything away, because he's also going to bring his own video out. Yes, Buford, I know you lived in Alabama once. Oh, Michelle says hi. Hi, Michelle. I didn't see that. I think sometimes the chat doesn't, you know, print things the way people are talking. Aquaponic Freshwater Fish Freak says, yes, that's a project I'm working on. Yes, and Tawanza, is that his name? Aquatics? Zenzo. Yes, thank you, Mario. Zenzo had a little tray on top of his 20-gallon, like right there. And anyway, he had strawberries, red lettuce, he had green onions, and something else growing. Kale. Had kale growing up on top, and of course the water was flowing through that into a waterfall into the pond. So I thought that was so neat. Sherry says, jumping the subject, but I got a dehumidifier today off Craig's for $20. It is 25 PTS, but are your thoughts on using one for a bedroom fish room? Or what are my thoughts on using one for a bedroom fish room? First of all, a bedroom fish room is it's up to you. How many tanks do you have in your bedroom? You probably should use a dehumidifier, and you know, just watch your health. If you find yourself with a lot of sinus infections, upper respiratory infections, you know what the culprit is. 13 by 13, do I really need it? 13 by 13, that's a big bedroom. Not really, let's see. Mine's like a, what is my bedroom? Mine's 20 feet long. But my thoughts on using a dehumidifier, if you having humidity problems in your bedroom, I would say, Sherry, yes. I know it's going to make noise. Depends on how of a light sleeper you are or anything. MultipleAquarims says, hello everyone on here who knows me. Hope you're doing okay. Thank you, Michael. We're doing okay, and we hope you are doing well as well. Angelo says, Sherry, in the winter I don't need mine, but in the summer I do. It's set to come on when the humidity goes above 55. Thank you, Angelo, because I've never used a dehumidifier in my bedroom upstairs because the air upstairs is drier than the air downstairs. Hey, dear. Mr. SLC Aquatics says, hi. Guess whose birthday's tomorrow? Last year he did a live stream with me on his birthday. You think we can get him to do a birthday stream tomorrow? No. Oh. But anyway, we're talking about goldfish ponds today, dear.
I am so filthy.
Are you?
I don't remember the water running.
He's been working. It is set at 75% humidity now. May turn it on tonight. HC Aqua says, hello, Mr. SLC.
Hello to that person and everybody else.
He says hello to HC Aqua and everybody else in the chat tonight. But I'm hoping that my lily will come back. I do see a little green at the base of the plant, so with some sunshine and warm temperatures, and I might put a little ferts in it from Aquarium Co-op. Might put some easy green ferts in the water to help with the new plant growth. Gotta watch that though. I need to do a water change. Not to really need to check the water perimeters before I add the easy green. Priscilla MK Art is in the house. Hello, Priscilla. Nice to catch you on a stream. Yes, it is nice to have you with us. Priscilla, I really, really have missed you. I know you're a busy mom and busy with your art, and I just love all of your art, all of it. And I love the panda bear that you did for the patrons. And what was it? A seahorse, was it a dragonfly? You've just done a lot lately. Priscilla says to Angelo, I sent you mail. I forgot about today. It's an 8x10 envelope. Added some to make up for it. Surprises! Sherry says, Susan, it has been a great stream. Got to go. Bye, everyone. Thank you for supporting me, Sherry. I haven't forgotten about the third weekend in May. Hoping and praying that we can all get together. And I got to go see the guys over at Ed's pretty soon. I want to take him some fishies. Fancy Tail Aquatics says, I want to add one hit 100 plus subs. So on my channel, I have a guppy giveaway. A lot of you are subbed. Enter the giveaway for free guppies. Priscilla is back. Thank you, Fancy Tail Aquatics. Priscilla says, I'm sorry. Yeah, life gets in the way sometimes. Too bad I couldn't make the all-girls stream. I know it. We're going to have to do another one. Jennifer said that we ought to shoot for monthly, but if we make it bi-monthly, we'll be doing good. Session says, hey Susan and everyone in the room, time to say bye for now. It's time to go to office. Everyone there have a blessed evening and take good care of your goldies. Thank you, Sashwin. Good to have you with us, and thank you for visiting with us all the way from India. Fish Fam Mom, love you. Priscilla says, guppies, I take guppies, LOL. Madfish Diva says, gotta go. Bye, Susan. Bye, all. All right, we'll see us next week with Mario Alves, and we'll be discussing a DIY fish pond, okay? Thank you guys for being with me tonight, and I'll go ahead and sign off as well. Thank you, Susan, for SLC Aquatics, #FishFamMom. See you next week.